anything other than what I've been trying to be late. Hey, what is up there, guys? And welcome back to a brand new episode of The Evolve. How you guys doing on today? Oh my goodness. Y'all know, I don't know if y'all heard this. We need to get right into it. Yes. Apparently, there has been a poll by hip-hop users, and not just a poll, but I gotta ask y'all a question. Why does social media hate Eminem so much? Today, we're gonna be talking about a recent poll that hit over 60,000 people voted in this poll on Twitter. Now, this poll, it posed the question, and I want to pose the question to you right now. You know, when you think about hip-hop and when you think about the good and the bad of hip-hop, what would you say the worst influence inside of hip-hop? I mean, hip-hop has changed over the years, over the decades. Every single decade, there is a new type and flow and an embedded feature inside of hip-hop. Now, some of these changes are for the good, but others are for the bad. It makes hip-hop take a few steps back. That's what I want to ask you on today. What has been the worst influence on hip-hop? Think about it. What or who or what has been the worst influence? Because recently, we have a top 10 list that hip-hop users on social media has voted who is the worst influence. And you're not going to believe this, but over 60,000 people voted that Eminem has been one of the worst influence. Now, I'm going to talk about that, where he falls on the list and a little bit more on that, but have you thought about that question? What has been, because I got to tell you, when I first heard this question, it is a good question. When I first heard this question about the worst influence in hip hop, my answer is something that you're not going to find on any list. And it's not the general popular. Actually, it's probably not going to be said anywhere. And you probably will disagree. But I believe the worst influence, the thing that had the worst influence on hip-hop was probably the RIAA, the Recording Industry Association of America. You know, this is the company here in America that does all the gold and platinum awards, and they do all the research and they calculate all the sales and everything, and they award artists with their gold and their platinum status depending on as far as for singles certification, for albums and whatnot. And believe it or not, I'm probably the only one in the world, but let me explain why I say that. You know, these certifications and these gold and these platinum, they do nothing for you. I mean, yeah, we can brag about our artists, and but honestly, it only serve the artists. It only serve, rather it's their confidence, their love, their work, or their ego, or whatever it is. At the end of the day, these certifications, it really only serve and pushes and motivate the artists. Now, why I say this has been one of the worst influence inside of hip hop is because, you know, when these artists, a lot of times they are motivated. You know, hip hop is now motivated to trying to reach a standard of platinum or gold or these certifications. And when that right there is your motivation, you would do things and say things and make songs that you wouldn't normally do and say and make. You would make decisions. And I mean, now we have artists hiring third parties to market and fake and document numbers. And you have these artists that are no longer singing from the heart, but they're creating songs according to a formula. Just they're creating radio songs or songs that they know that will be a hit so that they can get a lot of views and certification. It may not be that true, authentic that it was in the past. I mean, the RIAA certification, it forces them to push for that. and it changes the whole, like I said, the whole foundation of their music at times. I think that some of the most sincere motivation comes from when artists are just doing it for their fans or just doing it internally and not being pushed and feel like, hey, I got to try to get these platinums and gold. I want to get there. Because now a lot of times you're being judged off of how many golds you have in platinums, and that takes away. But anyway, that's just my thought. I always think, man, how hip hop music would change, and how, you know, your favorite artists and my favorite artists, their songs and their catalog would be different if a system like this wasn't in play. But that's just my thought on the worst influence. But I gotta say, you know, congratulations to our guy Eminem, regardless, because, you know, the RIAA, they have released a statement that over their 63 years of operation, no artist except Eminem has more singles. That's my Xbox. I got a notification. The smallest thing takes me out of my mode. I gotta cut this out. Okay, where was I? God dang, notification, take notification. Okay, anyway, over the 64 years, Eminem has the most gold and platinum singles in RIAA history. A big congrats to our guy Eminem. No one has done that. They said that Eminem has over 166 million single certifications. Now that's just the singles. That don't even include how many album certifications he have. You know, this one that comes in second, it was Drake that used to hold the record, and he had 163. I'm looking at my notes because I had to jot some things down. But anyway, it was Drake. But congratulations to Eminem. Now, speaking of Eminem, not everybody was congratulating him. You know, recently a Twitter account by the name of Hip Hop by the Numbers, they are sitting over they're sitting over 100 and no. I think the last time I saw it, they're sitting over at least 210,000 followers. I mean, they're legit. They take numbers, stats, statistics, and they put out these polls throughout Twitter, and everybody responds. I mean, they're followed by people like, Dax and Joe Budden, P. Diddy, Revolt TV. All these people, they follow this account and they participate in that. So they do numbers, and now they recently, about 2 days ago, they did a poll and they wanted to know who or what has been the worst influence in hip hop. Eminem made the list. Here's what they came up with. So right here, the top 10 in order, they said that now this ain't no slack against that channel because they just put out the polls and then do the numbers. So TikTok was rated number one. Number one, TikTok. Number two was drugs, the worst influence. Number three was streaming. Number four was Eminem. He has been the worst influence in hip hop, the people said. I mean, this surprised me. Over 60,000 people voted. But then, you know, I look at who voted. You know, you're talking about Twitter and the atmosphere, the social media, the cancel culture. But yeah, Eminem came in number 4 and social media came in number 5. And then you had all of these at number 10. It was beyond me. This has got to be hate. This has got to be hate. But, you know, I thought drugs was a really good one. Would definitely, out of all of these, would be number 1. TikTok, I don't feel it does as much harm as people would like, but it actually pushes and motivates, not motivates, but it pushes and get artist songs out there to a certain demographic. I didn't really understand the TikTok being number one, but I think it's more of people are tired of the kids and the cringe, and they feel that these kids are messing up the songs with these 15-second clips or 30-second clips, messing it up, doing wild stuff and making hip hop not look like that thug, that aggressive. So I kind of get it, but to put it at number one, drugs was, yes. I mean, drugs has had a negative impact inside of the hip hop culture. Not just the raps and not just the example that it show, but we've got artists that are dying from drugs. We've got artists because of drugs making some crazy decisions. But some of our hip hop artists, they have become the victim and in jail and in prison because of drugs, and we don't get that music and whatnot. So that has had an impact. Streaming, I didn't really understand streaming, why streaming was up there. Like I said, I felt at first, I said, streaming, it has pushed hip hop, correct? I mean, you don't get hard copies and stuff anymore, but streaming opened up it to really the world instantly and really help push it. So I didn't really quite understand why streaming was so high up on the list. And then there's Eminem at number 4. Like, I think the majority of this, it's got to be trolls and hate and other stuff, but I don't understand. Well, a lot of people on that side, they said that their excuse of why Eminem is rated so high and he has been negative impact and influence inside of hip hop is because of how he changed it. Now, I was reading the comments, a lot of them said, now you just got a bunch of kids and a bunch of rappers trying to rap fast, and that's not hip hop. And a lot of them said that he brought forth some of the, he tried to make it popular to kill your mom and stuff like that. And they were saying in the comments, that's not hip hop. Rappers was doing and saying a lot more April stuff before Eminem, but none of their arguments really made sense. So I knew that this was coming from somewhere else. Why Eminem is on the list, like I said, I just thought it was crazy. But I like to know what you all think. Why do you all think Eminem was on the list? If you had to vote, if you had to vote about this list, what would be your top 3 things that have really impacted hip hop in a negative way, the worst influence? I was so interested in this topic. I did a poll myself. I did this poll here on the YouTube, and we didn't have 60,000, but we did have about 700 of you all. You all did reply. And basically, I took the top 5 and I said, hey, what's the worst influence? I took it off the Twitter platform and put it on the YouTube platform. And this is what YouTube said. And the YouTube, the biggest thing is drugs, as you can see. And the second biggest thing, they did say that major labels. As you can see, I changed out number 5 because I really felt like social media major labels should be switched. So you all had stated that you felt like major labels would come in number 2. We do have a few that said Eminem and with TikTok was up there. But for the most part, everyone kind of agreed that it was drugs. So it was just interesting how the Twitter and each platform is a little bit different. Now, I know a big part of it is that it's, as far as the YouTube, I got a bigger fan base on here. So you fans, and let me tell you, I was trying to point out those haters. I want to say how many haters, because I don't got the dislike button no more, people. I don't got the dislike button. And I like the dislike button, but they took it away. They took it away, and I used to, if I get a video that get a lot of dislikes, then I'll be like, yes, That's the topic I want to hit on. Like, I be messing. Pettiness is an art. But anyway, there, guys, I didn't talk. Thank you. I just wanted to rant about this. You guys just sat here for about 15 minutes and listened to me talk. What do you all think? Did you agree with some of the things that I said? Did I make you think a different way about something, or did you totally disagree? I want to hear your I really want to hear your input in the comments on this video. I read all of your comments, every single one, every single video. No other YouTuber can say that. There be thousands of comments on some of my videos. I read every single one of them. So if you want to blast me, if you getting at me, just know I see it. I see it. It hurts right here too. It hurts, people. But that's all right, because you know what? I could use some new haters, because my old haters, they're starting to like me. Anyway, I will see y'all in the very next video. As always, KIP, keep it positive, character first.